Check one two, check one
There
two.
you go. You're there. All right. Hey guys. Hey everybody. How's you doing? How you guys doing today? Hey. All right. We're gonna get going here in just about 5 minutes. We are here. We are in the background. You can't hear us, but we're gonna be right here. We're just gonna have a little quick powwow before everything gets going. I'm gonna tell him about all the things and all the strippers that were asking about him while I was about. So I got Big Chone here and all the dancers. I mean the exotic workers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah, yeah.
Chode? Where's the big guy? So we'll be right back, everyone. Hey
Let's do
everybody,
quick.
go ahead. So, hey everybody, how you guys doing out there? Yeah, welcome. Hey Doji, Leitu, Andy, James. We're doing our best for you, buddy. Even though you deleted your "I'm poor" message, I feel your pain. Lucas, Andy, Crypto Fever. How's everybody doing out there today? We're here. Vamp actually just crawled out of his coffin. I feel a little bit better. So, hey, Demon. Welcome, everybody. So, I've got the Chone in the house. Say hi to everybody, Mr. Chone.
Hey, Mr. Chone, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Happy
For
Sunday to you all.
fun's sake. Fun's sake. That's funny. It's Irish, like Irish for folk's sake, right? Hey, hey, Hebrew. Hey, El. How are you doing today, young lady? Good to see you. Yes, I am. We're ready. It's Look at this, 5 o'clock. We're gonna get this show rolling. Let's see here with let me go find my little intro bobber dealio. Where's it at? Where is that? There it is. It's like so well. It's like it knows exactly what I need to do. It's perfect. And all right, and welcome everybody to a wow. Actually, finally some excitement here, right? We got a bunch of fun going on. And yeah, I mean, finally some movement. It's something, right? I'll take it. I'll take any movement over no movement at all. It's been quite a wild day for a couple of the coins. You know, we've had some pretty good movement. I just kind of want to do a little bit of recap for everybody. What we're seeing over in the members area and kind of what we've been watching going on. Just to make sure everyone, let me pull this all up right here. So last night in the wee hours, the wee hours and vamp hours, we had first thing we spotted. Let's scroll up here. All right, so this is 1 o'clock in the morning today. It is now 5:11. So I said, hey, LTC took off, right? And what has Vamp been saying? Vamp been saying, listen, when Litecoin takes off, what does it do? It always leads BTC. So Litecoin took off early. I said, holy cow, look out, there goes Litecoin. And Litecoin was in this channel. It's hard to see the channel right here. We'll go over it a little bit later. But you can see this channel where it finally broke out of this channel. And it was in a very similar channel that Bitcoin was in. They were in that very similar wedge channel. And man, it just took off, snapped out of that channel. And I said, watch out. I said, watch out, everybody. I said, there goes LTC. Now, watch out. Here goes BTC. BTC can go on a run. And then, sure enough, you know, there goes LTC. LTC just blasted off. There's a better shot of the channel right there. So LTC just blasted off out of the channel all the way up into my top resistance areas. And it was just a nice little run there by LTC. And then you guys know all what happened over on Litecoin, right? And then we were all watching Bitcash, Bitcoin Cash. We were all over watching Bitcoin Cash. And, you know, one of the things we said is, you know, the 4 and 6 hour bleeding nines. And oh my God, I can't wait to go take a look at those bleeding nines on the 4 and 6 hour today. They've got to just be like the most epic bleeding nines I've probably ever seen. I haven't looked at them. I've only got the 1 hour and the 12 hour on. And I said, hey, but that daily has got lots of room to run. And then this is when, look, we're all the way down at 542. And I said, listen, this thing's got room to run here. And then it just kept going, right? And it's funny because I actually called the very bottom perfect. I called the very bottom absolutely on the money. And I said, well, I guess I get a cookie for that, right? So this is what you get when you go out of town and you're trying to become famous in the crypto world at WCC, which I did have a good time with. But yeah, I'm definitely behind the ball on the trading right now, trying to catch up. So hopefully today I am caught up on my TA. This is what happens when you miss a couple days of TA. And we're going to pass this over to Chone. He's got a bunch of interesting things, and we're kind of going to go back and forth here on some of the stuff and really see what's going on. What do you want to do first? I think everybody's chomping on the bit for BCH. Chone? I lost him. He must be pooping. Chone! Hello? Uh-oh. I lost him. Hold on a second. Let's see what happened to John. I can't hear you.
You have me on mute.
There you go. I can hear you. There you go. You're back.
You hear me? All right. Do you see my screen?
No, I don't see your screen. There we go. You got it. All right. There we go. Okay. He's ready. Ready, set, go. He's like,
all right. Hey, listen, Bitcoin Cash. I mean, clearly the story of the day is clearly the story of the past 3 days here. Let me maximize here. So, listen, Bitcoin Cash. So the big announcement, the big thing that's been driving this was Binance basically saying they would honor the fork that's been scheduled for November 15th. And listen, this is November 15th. This is where we are now. We still have 10 more days, potentially, of price action before this this fork is happening. This event, this buy the rumor, potentially sell the news event is happening. A very similar chart to what happened literally a year ago in Bitcoin Cash here, where we had this really massive bullish November with a very quick sell-off basically after the fork was done. So talked about the TD9 sequential, our 8 actually marked our legit bottom. And then when we had our 9 here with our very tight doji, we have just shot up, and we're currently putting in, this very nice green 4. And we hit a 2786 extension of basically our wave 1. Now, there's still kind of a debate right now if we're have we done a full 5-wave cycle here. I mean, you can kind of count 5 waves here, but is this basically more or less the start of this run? Are we in some sort of a bullish consolidation still? Remember, we only kind of pulled back on any kind of a retrace here. If we start at our 1, we're very bullishly pulling back only at a 23.6 retrace so far, maybe a little under that. Still kind of flagging with, our volume was very, very nice today. And listen, this has been pulling a lot of our coins, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, a couple alts, mostly our higher cap coins, kind of pulling it up with it as a lot of money flow has been flowing into Bitcoin Cash as the anticipation of this fork nears, and kind of one of those situations where you get free coin, right? If you're holding on to Bitcoin Cash, you get this free coin of another kind of offshoot of what happens here. So what we're watching to see is this kind of consolidation and potential continuation in Bitcoin Cash as we basically have another 10 more days till the actual eventism. And all you can really do other than trying to count the waves and kind of see what's happening here is to see historically, I'm going to go back to our daily here, is to see historically what we're currently wicking out at, finding resistance at, and what are notable areas we want to break through. And right now is a very notable area. We can see back at the end of September how this, high 500s area, basically a hair under $600, was a major resistance area. And once again, so far, we have continued to wick out, like with a pretty strong wick. I mean, our wick was $30, $40 or so in this area still. So there's basically a lot of precedent for this area sub 600 being a very strong resistance area. And of course, a break of this area will be very notable, putting our next potential area in the 650s, which we basically were wicked out at the very beginning of September, potentially in play. Now, the move over the past 3 days has just brought our RSI up huge, up to about 75 area. We can go back to May when Bitcoin Cash had a tremendous bullish run, and we see the area in this area, literally right in this area where we actually found our initial areas of resistance. And by putting in a lower low in our RSI, then we actually put in a higher high in the price of Bitcoin Cash before we actually found that basically top off. So we didn't top off till May 7th. In the Bitcoin Cash price action when our RSI was basically down to 68. So already found its high, already found its lower high, and kind of was on the way down from that. So have we established our first high cycle in our RSI, and not necessarily saying this is the peak in the price action, because we actually see a lower high in the RSI produced a higher high in the price action. But this area of RSI daily is notable, as it once again was showing that resistance we had seen back in May. This is a pause for our indicators like our stochastic, which we topped off on our leading indicator at 100. We hadn't been back there again since our April bull run. So this is quite a move here. All of our indicators, our OBV, our chalk and money flow, getting back into this area here, where back in the end of April proved to be our resistance area in terms of where our money flow kind of died out. Didn't take very long to get back up there, but we're right there once again in this area. So we're looking at a pause as we kind of consolidate and allow our indicators to kind of chill out for a while. This has been 3 major bullish days here in Bitcoin Cash's price action here, all literally based on that one news event about Binance honoring that coin fork. That's kind of thing that's kind of been leading the narrative over the past few days here. And we closed out our weekly candle in Bitcoin Cash. I mean, what a gorgeous, green candle here, where we basically have bullishly engulfed the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going back almost 2 months of price action to get us back into our September levels there. Just a tremendous way to close out the week on this candle on notably substantially higher volume than what we had the previous week. So you have to ask yourselves, is Bitcoin Cash setting some sort of potential blueprint roadmap for a bullish push of Bitcoin? And then you have to ask yourself, where are the areas here where a stop out, where a lower low in Bitcoin Cash can still persist? This move is bullish and huge and massive and quite notable, especially for a major coin such as this. But we have to ask ourselves, when does this lower low still stay in play? And right now, the areas we're really focusing on, as I said earlier, is our 650 range and our double wick out currently of our, just a hair under 600 range, which is what stopped our bullish momentum towards the end of September there.
Nice, excellent. Okay, and hold on a second. I'm just getting one of my charts set up here. All right, so let's. So here was our chart we had. Let me bring this baby up. There we go. So here's my BCH chart. And here I was looking at this. Now we topped out, and what I was looking at for. Now we had created a new, and I had to make a brand new trend line here. So I snapped this trend line along the top right here, and I looked at this area just kind of as an area of confluence and resistance above us, and I kind of marked this out. You got the 382, the 786, all kind of piled into this area, came up, tapped it. Now, if you go higher and you start to back up, you can see where your next trend lines all fall. So if this thing really gets some legs on it, you have to look at these top targets as potential touches. If this thing really decides to go mamma jamma moony on all of us, this is where this thing could possibly run up to. I still look at this as you've got a lot of resistance in here, just like the Chone says. You can go ahead and drop that second area of resistance in right there, right? And that 650 area, you see you got your 5.0 right there, your 1-to-1, you see you got a bunch of confluence on your wicks and your historical, and that doesn't just go there, that goes all the way back. So all that whole area right there, another heavy strip of resistance for you guys to all be playing with. And we're going to clone this right there. Let's add that there, super easy, just drop that all up there. So now we're looking good. The volume is quite notable, right? Quite notable. I am actually looking for a small retrace. I'd like to see this baby retrace down and then go and test this trend line one more time. So now you do really, you've got, listen, if you're trying to count this at all, this thing is almost impossible to count. I mean, is this just... Is this your 1, 2, 3? Now you hit a 9 at the bottom on your sequential is imperfected 9, and then this is completely FA related. So the TA was completely irrelevant here. It would have been a 6, a 9, a 4, a 1. Didn't matter what you hit down here. This thing just took off to the moon right there. It was a great run. And let's just see if this can continue on through, which I think come down, test a little bit, and then the buying pressure will pick up again, and then we'll see if we can get up into these higher areas. I did have this thing over also on the 1 hour. There's your 1 hour. I'm sorry, this is your 4 hour right here, and this is what I was talking about. There was your 9 right there, your green 9. This is an insane amount of just a run on this green 9 right here. I mean, just an insane amount of run right there. Just good job. Great job. Anybody who got into this. I know we had a couple members who got into this. Unfortunately, I was traveling and didn't get the news, didn't get the memo, and got left out of it. A little too late for me to get in here. I'm going to wait for this to come down and retest. If this does come down here and retest and I get a nice bounce, I might just play this off to the next level up. Right? But let's go over and let's talk the big Bama Damma Daddy Bitcoin here for a second, okay? So we're going to go over here and talk about Bitcoin. And I really wanted to get this up. Come over here. Really wanted to get up into the higher time frames here. Where are we? Where are my higher time frames? Not that one, not that one. Nope. Nope, where is it? I had a big higher time frame chart up here. Where are you? There it is. So listen, I'm going to let Chone go over the Bollinger Bands, but what I wanted to go over here was simply the weekly and the monthly, and looking at this close that we had with the TD system. Now I've got two charts pulled up here. I want to pull. So I got Coinbase over here on the right. So I got Coinbase on the right side, and I have Bitfinex on the left side. So I do have a USD and a USDT chart. Now, very, very significant. I want to look into these patterns right here of what we did close out. Right, so we had this inverted hammerish style candle, pin bar style candle right here. We then did go into a doji. We had a whole week of absolutely the worst sideways movement we've probably ever seen in the last year. So we moved directly sideways. Then we had this massive downfall, which I kind of expected, because when I looked at this, I looked at this candle as let me bring this up real quick. Let me pop this baby up here, excuse me. There we go. So I was actually looking at this as this double doji style setup right here, right? So you have your big green candle, followed by a doji, right? Followed by a second doji. Now, I have to say, this is doji-ish, not really hanging man-ish right there. I mean, I was looking for a hanging man. Over here on USDT, I mean, this definitely came out very doji-ish, right? This is very doji-ish. Now, you gotta, the problem is you're on these USDT charts, these are a pain in the patootie right here, because you are charting with Tether, and Tether is kind of violently fluctuating still a little bit. It's still up and down a percent or two. It's not as bad as it has been. But I didn't like the setup on this right here. I like this setup. I like the fall. Now, we're sitting here. We're well under our 200 MA also on our... Oh, what the hell just happened there? There we go. We're well under our 200 MA on... let me go find all my charts again. I just lost everything. Seriously. Chone, you there? There he is. There he is. So we're under our 200 MA on our 30-day, and on our 3-day on our 3-day chart. So we are under our 200 MA on the 3-day chart, and that is very significant. I want everybody to understand that, when you go up to these higher time frames, especially here, you're on the 3-day, 3-day. I'm going to get everything up here on the 3-day chart, right? So when you're on your 3-day chart, we are using now our 200 MA right here. So you got your 200 MA is now our top side resistance, and it keeps moving up. So it just jumped up again as we've closed out. Oh, it's still moving. All right, let's go over here and take a look at our weekly. Our weekly got is sitting. Look at the 7 MA just riding this weekly out. You got your 10 MA and your 7 MA both trying to hold this price action down. Now this explodes. You know, you go back to the fact that I'm watching this 3-day and how high this can pop up, and my range here is the 6640 area, right? 6600 to 6640, even 6690, and I base that off this 50 MA. You've got your 50 MA right here on your 3-day. You've also got your, you go all the way out here, you got your Bollinger Band riding in the center right there, which is now moved up to 6700 on the weekly, right? Your 6700 on the weekly, 6660 on the monthly. So, you know, my top side targets are all the way up here, 6,700, I think, is possible, right? And that makes me want to go back to, where's my damn chart? This chart right here that I had running for everybody. And this chart right here, if you look the last couple days, or it's even been longer than that, it's probably been about 4 or 5 days. This chart has kind of been like, I've been asking the question over and over and over again. Let me bring this down here. Oh, it's 4 hour. Let's get this up to the 12 hour, right? So my question I've been asking over and over and over here is, where is this ABC wave, right? So you've got your A, B, C, D, and I've been asking, and if you go back, and especially all the members know this, I've been saying, where is the end of B? Where is the end of this B wave? Is it up here 6,700? And I'm actually going to lower this down right here. I'm going to pull this right down into here. Right? Is it at 6,700 range? Is it at 6,640 range? Where is the end of this B? Right? And this just moved up for us. So, you know, we got to just keep marking this. This moved up just a little bit. It's like 66, 60-ish area right there. And I have been saying, where is this B? This doesn't play out, right? A, B, C. You got to get this A, B, C in here to create this B. And this is what I've been looking for. I've been waiting. Where is it? Where does it end? I don't know where it ends. You go over to your daily, right? There's your daily right there. Our daily came together. It turned neutral. And then as soon as it turned neutral, it just exploded, right? We in the members area, we said, hey guys, look, this thing turned neutral, and then boom, it went bullish on us, right? You got a nice bullish pop out of there. And I'm gonna let the Chone Monster go for it, buddy. What do you got over there?
Yeah, I put out a tweet earlier. Oops, there we go. Where I was basically, you know, we all like to talk about the 2014 fractal. And we're talking about the 3-day MA200, which is our red line here. And if we go back in 2014, we see after our bull run of 2013 that brought us to Bitcoin $1,200, when we had our pullback here, the initial break of our MA200 on our 3-day was very volatile and caused a very nice bounce where we got back to the 280 all the way up to about 430 in about a 10-day period or so. We got above our MA200, and we actually closed one candle of the 3-day above it before failing to hold and putting in a higher low. If we're counting our wicks and our closing, or our wicks at least, our body was lower, but our wick was higher. And then we actually put a second bullish push in, breaking through our MA200 on a very big bullish candle that wicked out significantly at our EMA 55 on the 3-day, closed below our MA200, and basically set the stage for another year of bearish price action and consolidation all through 2015, where we had ranged from about 200 up to about 360. And right now, present day, we are kind of putting in something very similar at the exact same time period. And the first thing that kind of sticks out is our MA200 angle is much more steep this time than it was last time, basically showing the significance of the $20,000 move in Bitcoin actually had, much more so than our 2014 move. And we see we initially broke it. We shot back up again on one candle. We came back below. We had failed to hold support, just as we did back in 2014. And it was a little longer time period there, but we got back into November, and we had another bullish run that basically brought us to the EMA 55. Now, our EMA 55 currently is a hair above $6,900 and falling. And maybe we're putting in something similar, where if we're able to break above our MA200 again, some of our target areas are MA50 around 6650, our upper Bollinger at 6750, and then our lastly, my personal last EMA resistance area would be our 55. That in several 3-day candles. It could put it in that $6,800, maybe $6,700 range. So there is precedent for this double test of this area here, and potentially seeing if we can basically put in a very similar scenario that we did in 2014. Going back to our weekly chart here, we closed the week out bullish engulfing, a very tight body range, lower wick, lower volume. And we're still under all, EMA 12, EMA 55, our middle Bollinger. Now, our weekly Bollingers are crazy tight. They're hella tight, but they're still very wide compared to, what we have been more or less used to all of 2015 and all of 2016. So relatively speaking, we're still extremely wide back then. But since our more, 2017, 2018 price action, we are as tight as we have ever been. And the thing that keeps me still bearish, even with all of our most recent price action, blah, 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 is the fact that we have not tested our MA100 here, which is at $6,700 and still rising, and our MA200, which is breaking over 3,000.
57.
57. Yeah. What I say, 67? 57.72 area, and our MA200, which is still a little bit above 3,000 now for the first time. So these two major MAs on our high time frame, like our weekly chart, have yet to be tested. Now, sure, the price could wait for the MA100 to rise to catch up to it. It's definitely a possibility, but the weeks show that will take a long time for our MA to rise, getting closer to that 6K area. And it feels to me a lot more likely that we will touch it. The price action will come to it versus it coming to the price action, the MA100 coming to the price action there. So until we're able to break through our near-term EMAs here, starting with my EMA 12 at 56.55, at 65.55, I'm still kind of remain the bias that these are resistance levels and not support levels, and that we can definitely break lower, looking for a longer-term EMAs there. And our RSI is a dead stick. Maybe it's showing a little bit more bullishness than before, but we're still kind of still flat, still sub 50. Our stochastic is angled bullishly, but still weak. Our OBV is kind of holding, but still a flat line, dead stick the past 5 days here. Our chocolate money flow still rising, but still putting in a lower high than we had back in the summer there. And our squeeze momentum still putting in bearish histograms. So the bias of bearishness, for me at least, still stands until proven otherwise. And the biggest thing that's overall sticking out is just our volume is poopy. And our volume, our money flow, we talked about this before. The whales just controlling it as this whale versus whale in terms of who's kind of battling this out. And it still seems to be this very little retail. But with crypto as a whole, we've seen circumstances where Bitcoin stays relatively sideways with the potential for a bullish push. And the altcoins, respective of each other, have found some charts where they can build upon, and have seen good pops and basically good trading opportunities.
Definitely,
Bitcoin
definitely
still,
taking their
yeah,
turns. Definitely taking their
exactly.
turns.
And you know, we have seen this before. Bitcoin sideways price action with a chance for bullishness and stability has allowed these charts in the alts to basically find stability, put in higher lows, and try and build off of that. Again, news-driven events, but the bias of Bitcoin, the equilibrium, the higher lows, the lower highs, still remains as we get even tighter as we head into November here. And November's past have been very bullish. November's the past 4 in a row, I believe, have been green months. So is this kind of buck the trend? You know, there's because of this low volume environment and the higher lows, there's definitely a narrative that you can say, sure, Bitcoin can ride some sort of a year-end relief rally as all these, you know, ETF rumors, box, whatever, still are in play. Our tightening of our Bollingers basically show that on our daily, being able to get above our middle BB. Look where we wicked out, though. We wicked out on our EMA 55 and currently finding MA 50 resistance on our daily, and still low volume. I mean, this was an interesting move, but the volume is still very low, relatively speaking. There's still a little arbitrage in the USD versus USDT. Just by a little bit now, it's the smallest it's ever been. And you know, I'm watching MEX. I'm watching to see these wicks, see the volume come in. You know, we're basically still flagging bullishly here, still moving. I'm not seeing any big moves in Tether on our Omni accounts recently here. Still got what we're playing in there. So, you know, I think it's a Bitcoin Cash story still, just because it had the most recent bullish move of a major. But we're just looking for that follow through. And the narrative still stands until proven otherwise. This range, Bitcoin 6,400 range, is still holding all through October and now even into November. Nothing has really changed if you kind of take a wider view over the past several weeks here. That still stays consistent.
Nice. Okay, so we're just going to go through a couple screens. So first, talk about the chalk and money flow right here. So you've got three different exchanges. I got Coinbase on the left, Phoenix in the center, Binance on the right. You know, you have the same time frames pretty much up for a lot of these. And, you know, seeing a little bit of a bounce at the bottom right there. You know, looks like you know, you see that they're trying to, you know, now I look at Binance. And I wonder how much actual volatility was engaged in BTC on Binance, simply because of what's going on with the Bitcoin Cash thing. And where is my
The real
volume?
Bitcoin, right?
The real Bitcoin, exactly, the real Bitcoin Cash. You know, I've kind of got I've got this chart up over here. With a bunch of tech. Well, listen, we've been trapped inside of this channel right here. Here's this channel. This channel goes all the way back up here into September, towards the end of September. You've got this red channel that's kind of worked its way, right? Is pretty consistently, right? This red channel right here has done a really good job of holding the price action in it. Look, this is all wicks up here. This is the first time we've significantly broken through with a closing candle on this, going all the way back to September. So this is definitely bullish. Now, a lot of this action in Bitcoin too has been coming from, you know, people running into Bitcoin also. To get into Bitcoin Cash. We've seen a ton of money run into Bitcoin Cash, a ton of liquidity that's just poured into there. So just, you know, make sure you're also playing careful with that, people, because you know how the whales get, right? They see all that liquidity, that's free money for them to just, you know, they scooped up all that BCC also. It's easy for them just to also dump it on top of you. This is our larger, this is on my Coinbase, this is our larger trend line right here. So I've got this much larger trend line that comes way down from up top here, right? Way up there. And this trend line comes down. I probably need to bring this a little bit lower. Let's bring this baby. I think it's on a daily. Let me put this back over on the daily. No, even on the daily it didn't make contact. And let me adjust this real quick. There you go, it's better. And it's probably not perfect, but it's better. So this is the top trend line I'm looking at. I'm looking at this top trend line. And, you know, now I got to adjust all this again. Damn it. Right there and there. Right? And there we go. Some bull top targets right there for me. Right? So the bulls are trying to break this trend line way up here. Right? This is their trend line they're trying to break. Now, I could see completely a big wick out up here. We can get a nice big thunder wick. Throw it up here. It's not an issue. I mean, like we've been trading in this low volume environment, and that's still listen, I tell everybody in this low volume environment, it's easy to get these pops. Now, I want to make sure that once again, just like when this thing broke bearish, okay, I'm going to take these all back to the 12 hour. Okay, I'm taking all these back to the 12 hour here. Just like when this broke bearish, right? When this broke bearish, I told everybody, I said, don't get excited. I told everyone, we had this breakdown right here. Everybody was like, oh my God, there it goes. And I was like, nope, don't get excited. It's nothing. It's a big nothing burger until we break lower here than this 6,100. And this is actually probably about 6K down here. I want to break lower than this 6K region down here, 6,000 to 6,100, right? And over here, I mean, honestly, on Coinbase, I want to break over this 200 MA. I want to get up over this area. 6640 is probably my real top side up here. And I'm going to throw a 6640, 6660. Right here is where this is the target I'm looking for me personally. I want to see this area right here get broken, right? This is my bullish break zone all the way up here, right? I want to see this come all the way up here, and until these get broken, right? I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about this, right? So there's that. I don't want to hear about this being a bull run or, because at the same time, I was telling everybody the same thing when we had this last fallout right here. We fell out. I said, dude, please don't get excited, right? Listen, I expected this to come down, bounce off this trend line and pull up, right? Or this trend line and pull up. I have nothing that says this was going to break out of this wedge. There's no arrows down. There's no arrows up. I just said, hey, listen, we're still in this damn wedge. I'm waiting for some significant thing that needs to occur. I'm looking for some significant. Now, like Chone just said, I think a lot of this is a Bitcoin Cash related pump. I mean, a lot of people had to go from fiat to Bitcoin, from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, and a lot of that did drive up this little stick right here. And until I'm proven different, we start to really break out substantially out of these areas up here. And let's put this wick, right? There's this trend line right here. I mean, you got to break out of this. There's a lot of stuff to go through to get up and through all of this, okay? So I'm just not going to get excited till we start to break these top trend lines. Let's go over here. Okay, now on my bubble chart, right? My bubble chart, we're coming back up for a gazillionth time in a row, right? We're going to come up. We're going to test this top area on my MACD bubble chart, right? So MACD, I am now not looking for a J-hook pattern, so this is incorrect. I posted yesterday, if you watch the video, I'm looking for a rollover. So I'm looking for this baby to roll over on us. I'm not looking for a J-hook pattern here. I want to see a rollover like these two. 1, 2, 3, then we get our rollover, then we'll see how this goes, right? Now you still are not even close to these historical trend lines. This can keep moving. Even if it's bearish, this can keep going on us. Listen, I am not going to, once again, I'm not going to go long. This is my bull break area to go bullish, right? Listen, I am in long trades. Yes, I am. I'm in long trades right now with XRP, with Raven. I'm not in any other trades other than that. I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines, getting my feet back under me after being out of the market for a couple days. I need to get a feel again for what's going on. Look at the rejection here. We had this in the members area. I said, hey guys, watch out, your rejection area, your long short trade area came up, got rejected right off the tippy top of this of the long short trade line right there. Just bounced right off that damn thing. Unbelievable. Talk about like photo finish right there, right? That's like you're just about to finish and you crash and die. Very simple. We've got two separate charts we've got pulled up right here. Okay, two separate charts. Here is the historical, again, a great look at the trend lines as they're coming down on this chart, right? A great look at the volume. You can see the volume. This is on Binance. You can see how low our volume is playing out. You can see the break of our trend line. Look, it came up. This is the stripped down version of the RSI bubble chart. Came up, broke out, hit the top of our long and short trade line into our resistance area, and then bounced back down, still trying to break out. Now, this is the second time we've bounced out of this, and this trend line goes back 145 days now. It's the first time we've really broken out of it, except for this giant wick out that we had from the pump. Now I've got the USDT version of this also. I got to get a little more detailed on this. I was looking for the break of the 52.3 and the 12 hour. We got that, right? Broke cleanly out of the wedge. And look at the USDT chart over here. How different. You don't see that breakout of this pump. You see the big pump right here, the crash, the tether crash. You don't see that on the USDT, on the USD exchanges, simply because they didn't have USDT. Right, and the price action was just following the other exchanges as the Bitcoin was going through the moon. I'm sure people were loving it on USD, who are on USD exchanges, because they were probably just dumping all their stuff out and made a bunch of money. Right, up here, where is the end of B? Right, where is B's end? And I've got this pretty well marked out up here. You've got 6,700 up here, kind of as my top zone. You know, and you can play this baby out. But I still think 6640 to 6700. You've got multiple trend lines intersecting. You've got this trend line that you just ran into, and you've got this cup support trend line down below, right? But I want to see. Let's get some follow through here. That's all I'm asking. Give me some follow through today. You know, do I think we're going to have follow through on Bitcoin Cash? Yeah, I do. I think BCC is going to get a little pullback, and then I think we can see maybe another push on it. People are excited about it. It's a good.
We're pulling back now.
Oh yeah. We're pulling back now. We're going to get the little pullback. Now on this chart right here, this is your daily, right? Come and take a look at this. This is your WMA, your weighted moving average, true strength index, right? Look at how strong this bullish area has held over one, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this actually was way down here for a fifth test, right? And this thing is just held. I said this is the bull support bear break line. This for me is a very critical line to either hold or break. On the top side, look at the inverse. 1, 2, 3, 4 times this thing held. This has held the bears down, the bulls down every time. It's held the bears down every time. We're trapped inside of this consolidated trading range, and we just can't break out. Like when we do break out over this thing, look at this. Look at when you break out right here. See, you break out. This is just works just like the RSI bubble chart. Like bam, you break out and you go to the moon, right? Here it is again. Look, you break out of this bearish level. Boom, you get a nice little long trade line. So my long trade line for me is right here. It's this red line right here. So I'm watching this like Daddy Vamp looking to pull a very nice long when this breaks, right? That's it. That's all I'm looking for right here. I want to see this. You know, you want to impress me, bulls? Get up here. Break this baby. It's not that far to go. That's it. You want to impress me, bears? Break this. It's not that far to go, right? It's just the absolute inverse. I break this, bullish, break this, bearish. Right now we're trading in a range, which just sucks. It just super, super sucks, right? There's nothing we can do about it. Historic volatility chart. This thing tells you when the real deal, real deal happens, when this goes and or bullish and or bearish, you pick a damn team. Look, this is a clear bearish break. Look at it right here. This is a bearish break. Yay! And the crowd goes wild, right? I mean, this, you can see bullish and bearish breaks on here. You can see when they happen. There's a large swing in the price action here. In the historical volatility chart, right? You come over, boom, there it is, right? This is a real bullish break. You can see when the bullish breaks occurred. Not a fucking damn thing happened, people. Nothing happened, right? Somebody's got to pick a team here. All right, someone's got to pick a team, bullish or bearish. Now, this is very important. So this is a brand new chart we just did, updated chart in the members area. What I did is this correlates with my shorts, right? So one of the things I want you to do is we're going to go look at the shorts, go back to November 12th, 2017. And where are you, shorts? Here we go. Okay, here's my shorts. Right? These are not the shorts I'm wearing right now, but these are the shorts I'm looking at, okay? So you pull all the way back here. This is November 12th. See it? See the yellow thing down here, right there? November 12th, 2017. Way down. And then, boom, slingshot. This is the price slingshotted right here. In this yellow box, this is where our price slingshotted up. This is the look at the shorts RSI. Is dirt low, fell out, big fall. Now we have this big fall. Right? The shorts are just took a huge nosedive. Shorts took a huge nosedive. A lot of this correlates to this bullish run, but now you've got all of a sudden a couple bearish indicators, and every time these bears did this, you had a bullish pop with a bearish drop. Right? Here it is. Bullish pop, bearish drop. Same thing. Now this one just dropped. I mean, the shorts fell and the price fell. A lot of people were just taking profit out of that, but this was a bullish version of it. Now, it bounced exactly off the exact same place. Like you couldn't have, you couldn't have done that any better. Look, I'm gonna scoot the line. Look at, there's the red line that goes across there. I mean, it bounced off absolutely to the dime right there off the RSI level. You got that big bounce off. Now I go back and I wanted to correlate that with my historical volatility chart. And this is where this took off. See this little nookie right here, this little nook, boom. And that was it. It just took off, and this is where the magic happened for this final run up to the top here for Bitcoin. And I started a trend line there, and I pulled that trend line all the way down to where we are today, right? And I wanted to see what had happened in the patterns at every time it had touched this trend line, right? You got one right here, all right? So I marked it in pink right here if it was a bearish. So when this one touched, this was bearish. When this one touched, this was bearish. When this one bounced off, this was a bullish move, right? You got this bullish move. Now this one is the most alike into where we are today. So look, here you had this sideways consolidation, a little bullish pump before it dropped. Like here you have this little sideways consolidation here. You did break out, so look, you went sideways. So look, you dipped under. And it's very significant. So you see the green line right here. So this green line is playing out down here. This green trend line goes all the way back to November 12th. When you break under this baby, see, look, you break under it, pop up bullish right there. Like last time though, broke under it, popped up, and then when this pop happened, this was bearish. So this is a bearish pop. This was a bearish pop right here. So you kind of have a couple bearish trends when it breaks lower. So you did the same thing. You broke lower. Now look at how well this plays out. Look at the red trend line, right? Every time the red trend line got broken or got, look, supported by the red trend line, supported by the red trend line, supported by the red trend line, every time, like broke up bearish, and now you've broken up, but you've consolidated sideways like this. So I'm still waiting for the move. To me, the move has not happened. A direction has not been picked by anybody, bulls and or bears. We're simply still trading in the range, and the historical volatility chart is telling you that. It's slapping you in the face with its nuts saying, I haven't picked a team. Okay, so don't go bullish or bearish, or else the HV chart is going to slap you upside the head with some wet, soggy, salty nuts, and you're going to learn the hard way, okay? Let it pick a damn team. All right, so let's go over here. This hasn't made any moves for me. I'm not nothing. This is the weekly and monthly chart. This is the only chart right now that's got me confused. I am confused. The vamp is confused. What the heck is going on here? We have hit the lowest of the low of the RSI on the shorts chart ever since this chart started, right? Since this, I go
Looking
all
for a pulse.
Yes, give me give me something. Give me something. Right? We called the bounce off of here. I was saying, "Hey, wait, this is going to bounce off here. Watch this, guys. It's going to bounce off here." And we called this shows and shows and shows ago, right? So this bounced off here. Right now we've had a cross on look at the shorts. I mean, they fell out of the damn sky. Look at the sideways movement we've had forever. Just absolutely flat movement. The white line, this white is the price line on BTC. Just absolutely moving sideways. You got this huge dump. You got this huge dump. Listen, something is going to happen here. Okay? Either we're going to get a pump, a bullish pump, and then people are going to start to short that pump, and that's what's going to happen. People are going to be like, all right, we're going to start shorting this pump, and that's what I'm looking for. Look, nobody is pulling any shorts right now. No one. And let me tell you what, you better believe that the whales are watching this, right? There's no shorts. So I know it's so funny. Every time the shorts are high, everybody's like, oh my God, there's going to be a short squeeze. Ah! But when the longs are high, no one is yelling there's ever a long squeeze. There's never such a thing on Twitter known as a long squeeze, right? Even though they happen all the time, there's no such thing on Twitter as a long squeeze. Okay?
Especially in Vegas.
Especially in Vegas. Oh God, just with the nut jokes, that's actually perfect. Okay, think about that for a second. All right, so here we are. We have you have the shorts just falling out of the sky, and you have the short RSIs all the way down, and we haven't made a move, right? The price hasn't moved. We went up. What? How far did we go up, Joan? 100 points.
100. Yeah, I mean this short chart is. Like no one has the cojones anymore to short this market, because yes, there's been several times where shorts have gotten just annihilated, and a couple times where they've actually had a successful short load up. But this is unprecedented bearishness. The 4-hour RSI is the daily is all-time lows. So we are charting unprecedented bearishness in the Bitcoin shorts. And the question you asked about, does Bitcoin itself have to break bullish for the shorts to start loading up again? It's a very good possibility. That's what needs to happen for a bullish break in Bitcoin, an abnormal bullish break in Bitcoin, for the shorts to feel like, oh, this is a move kind of a little too frothy, and I'm going to start to load up those shorts. The longs have been slowly rising, but not with a lot of confidence yet either, and they have running room. They're kind of consolidating now. But the shorts are looking for some sort of a support and just kind of a mercy bounce from a technical standpoint in the chart.
Yeah. Listen, guys, personally, I pay my wife to tell people I'm long when I'm actually short right now, okay? So that is Vamp's 2 seconds of price action gift to all of you. All right, so let's move over here. What the hell? I can't even remember what damn chart this is. Oh, I pulled a 5-day chart. Right? I pulled a 5-day chart.
What?
So yeah, I actually used a 5-day chart, and it's the first time I've ever used a 5-day chart, and it's a very interesting chart, right? Take a look at this. Look at your histogram on this chart. Look at your volume on this chart. Look at where you're at on your Stoch on the chart. All very interesting, right? This is a very interesting chart. Like you've had a nice run up. You have not been able to break bearish on this on your MACD, even though your price your volume has just completely been dying out. Listen, your price action has really been moving up. Your volume has been moving down on the 5-day chart. Okay, it's a fact, right? I mean, listen, you start here, you go up. That's up. You start here, you go down. That's down, right? So we do have some bearish diversion. We're bearish we have bearish divergence on this 5-day chart. It's the first time I just started using it the other day. And now we are played way deep over here on the Stochs on the 5-day. Very interesting how many times we've actually played out to the bottom here. Right now, every time we get down here pretty deep, you can see one more fall. And this is kind of all the Vamp has been asking for. Give me one more fall. Just one more. That's all I'm asking for. Give me one more little fall. And then we can start to really play this market out, right? And where is that chart that This is all I'm asking for. Give me this last little fall. And then I want to go, this is it. And then we can all then I think we'll have a chance to all be bullish. I just want this last little dive down here. I think we go up. There's just no volume. There's no buying pressure. There's no nothing. ETFs are the only thing that's going to save us on an upward movement. Then scooting over.
And that's potentially next week is the next announcement of whatever happens from the SEC.
I hear mixed things. I just saw a report today that basically said that they just something like they took a bunch of notes still and all the questions that were sent in, and they still need to go over all those damn questions or something like that. So I don't really know what's going on. I'm going to have to dig deeper into it, but we'll see. We're just going to have to see. But from what I did read, I read that it was a bunch of note taking, and or people had the chance to comment on it. They're going to go through all the comments, and then they're going to come back and make another assessment, right? We're just going to have to see what happens here. On our weekly, right? Our weekly, we did break bullish on our weekly over here on our MACD. We did bounce off of this lower support line. Look, this is acted as support, right? Right? This is this line. 1, 2, 3. This came down here, fourth time touched. It's trying to break up. That's our RSI. Here's our Stochs. Our Stochs came down. Now this is our weekly Stochs is still high. Our monthly Stochs is low. Okay, we're still rolled over bearish. And look at our RSI on the monthly is trying to pull back up and run into this, which is now support. Resistance. So if this runs back up and gets rejected, it will be resistance. Our Ichi chart, and look at this 12-hour. You have the Kijun, and you look at this. You got everybody coming together. It's a party, right? This looks like a three-way in Vegas right here. This cost a lot of money to happen. And listen, you've got the Kijun, you've got your Tenkan, your Kijun, and your 20 MA all converging together, all crossing. Right? This is a bearish cross right here, people. When this crosses right here, this is a bearish cross. So I'd be very wary right there of this. Now you look back here in the 6-hour, you do have support. Look at how well this support played out on this this Kijun right here. So you drop down, use that as support, but you are getting a little bit of a price action pullback. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when these two do cross, when your Kijun and your Tenkan cross here underneath the price. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to have to watch this chart. Looks good. Your Stochs is really high on the 12-hour. Stochs is falling on the 12-hour and the 6-hour. Now, this is my TD, and listen, here's my TD. We broke up. We have broken the 6 bearish pattern, right? We've broken my bearish 6 pattern that has been playing out with the sideways movement. Every time I said we hit a green 6 with a red candle, look, we've broken bearish. Green 6, red candle, bearish. Green 6, green candle, even this was bearish. Green 6, red candle, broke bearish. Green 6, green candle had the bull push, right? And we had a green 6 with a red candle. I would have been more bearish on this if I would have been trading this. In fact, I did get stomped out of my short trade. So I started my short trade at 64.60. I had my stop loss set pretty tight down here. And I was trading on MEX. I was in a short on MEX. So that I did get stomped out of that trade in profit. And I haven't entered another trade. But looking at this chart, I'm thinking about going short again just because I'm looking at this Are we going to fall out here one more time? Is this going to cross this 12-hour Stochh looking like it's ready to fold over one more time? Here we have the 3-day chart, volume falling, everything falling, and let's just kind of see how this baby plays out. Look, there you had the same pin bar candles, pin bar. This got a little more of a love, that got a little more love, then this fell out. Little love, started to fall out. Now, I do have one more thing. I think it's my weekly or my monthly. I wanted to show people. All right, last thing, and I'm going to use this. Chone's going to get loading up his next chart, but I just want to show you one thing. We went over into the members area, and it is on my BTC. I'm going to show you one quick thing. So this is from the members area right here. Okay, this is it. So, two things. So here was the weekly and the monthly update. I just wanted to show the weekly and the monthly. And on this monthly, this was brought up to me. That's weekly. There's monthly. Are these 3 black crows? Anybody? Are these 3 black crows? Big good question. Anybody at all? Are these 3 black crows? Good thunk. Chone? What do you think, buddy?
it's I mean, it's 3 legit full body candles that are red in sequence for sure.
Your chart is up, buddy. Your chart is up. You take this home for us, because that was my
Listen,
thought.
I don't have much to offer kind of on more or less kind of covered all our bases, especially with our longs and shorts just being out of whack. And listen, I want to go to a larger term perspective. This is Bitcoin. This is Bitstamp. This is 2011 to current day. And you guys have, on Twitter at least, have seen this chart, I'm sure, multiple times, more or less variations of it. The kind of line that defines all lines. This, starting in 2012 at around $7, this axis, this plane, found support here in August of 16 at $474, retested at $756, and then at $808. And it's not been touched since then when it broke major bullish. So this has kind of been that line ever since, August 12, that has maintained our tremendous bullish momentum over these last, 6 years. There is a secondary support line that has a much lower sloped plane to it, which found support here at $84, at $145, at $202, and is kind of a really nasty but potential of a much more bearish scenario if our major line here either A is tested or B fails to hold. And listen, it has not been tested yet, and all of our retrace when we went into 2015 there and 2016, being able to hold this line on 3 separate occasions allowed for our major bullish pop and momentum that brought us to Bitcoin 20K. And because we've yet to touch it, along with our longer term indicators here, our 100, especially our 100, but our 200 as well, which is much lower. Still, from a longer term perspective, leads me to believe at some point we will retest this area as a major support. And depending upon timing wise, as we go into December, remember we're a month out from being a year out from Bitcoin's all-time high. So you kind of see a lot of news stories, a lot of narratives about remember when, what was it like a year ago, when everybody was talking about their Lambos and Bitcoin breaking over 10K, and what subsequently happened to crypto when all that profit in Bitcoin was subsequently dispersed through the alt market. and you created parabolic moves in, coins such as Lumen, ADA, ZRX, and a myriad of others, that 10 bag, 20 bag, 30 bags, only with Bitcoin's major bull run where we actually to have that major alt season. And so people talk about alt seasons and this and that, and we see spontaneous individual alt charts having their movements, having their momentums. But Bitcoin will continue to run the show, and the fact that we have not yet tested these longer term MAs on higher time frames, like our weekly, like our monthly, the way we are still so wide in our Bollinger Bands on these charts, just beginning the break, especially on the monthly, of our middle Bollinger failing to hold support on that middle BB, which previously has shown, especially with Litecoin, that triple tap failure to hold our middle BB once again becomes resistant. So notably on that, a bullish breakthrough of 6650 would be quite notable, getting above intra-month our middle BB. But until a break of that stature, again, we're only talking about, $250 from here or so. If we're unable to do even that, my bearishness still remains intact, basically stamped with the declining volume consistently on our chart here. Money flow is just not flowing into crypto. As we start the month of November, we have a market cap just a little over 200 billion. We have almost 2,100 coins out there available for your trading. We have Bitcoin and we have 2,000 and closest friends. Bitcoin dominance continues to be a hair over 50%. It lost a little bit of that as a lot of money was into Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin itself still is mired in this 4 billion to high 3 billions daily money flow. All of October has been just the norm. I mean, this is our new standard. This is our new norm. How much longer can a market cap of over 100 billion, be sustained as a higher circulating supply, continues to be flooded onto the market. So we've basically, through the show, plotted out our areas which would be notable on a bear break and on a bull break. And until those areas are broken, otherwise, our bias kind of still has to remain in this range of price action, which has remained consistent for the past couple of months. That's kind of all I'm seeing right now. The money flow is notable in Bitcoin Cash specifically, and looking for that follow through. Remember, the event of this fork is still 10 days away. And we're still seeing that consolidation continue in Bitcoin Cash just because it's just overbought. It's overbought, especially on the daily chart. We close way outside our upper Bollinger. Now, we were very tight on our BB, so I'll give deference to 1, 2, 3 days, okay, outside of our upper BB. But now we're spreading out here, and I expect to get back into our upper Bollinger to find some more consolidation before a more definitive move takes place. But we still have time, at least almost 9 more days until this event happens. And then after that, are we going to see as another scenario of a buy the rumor, sell the news situation? So that's what I got. Be cautious out there, my friend.
Yeah, good. So I just pulled up the same chart. I wanted to kind of do that same chart you had there. I found some pretty interesting stuff. I haven't done that before. So I did pull this line right here, and I'll mark this one green. So look, there's pretty interesting. You run along the top there. It kind of slices up and, kind of gives you the top, right? Kind of gives you the top of the run there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this gives you a pretty good bull to bear break there, right? The bearish market and then the bullish break. And then you got another line. And this is funny because it's kind of definitely like my target I would like to see. I still am like 42 to 4,800, right? This is where I would like to go. I'd like to go 42 to 4,800. This is where I'd like to see my Oh, 53. That's great. Look at that. 5,300. Love to see that. Right? That's in November. I mean, this 5,300 and a bounce off this line would just be absolutely money for me to get a nice bounce off that 5,300 line right there. You see great touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches all the way up on that line. Would act as amazing support for me to go there. The tough one is this right here, because this kind of breaks. Right? You get this all the way along here. Just don't have that there. We kind of just don't have that there.
It's tough to kind of play out this fractal weekly scale because it's hard to determine where we are. You can't go day to day, month to month. There's an argument to be that we're actually slower than our 2014. There's an argument that we're actually faster. I think we're actually slower.
I think it looks like, look at that right there. If you just take it a little bit lower, see how it broke over the line? Right? So if you take that there, touch, and we just break over that line and ride that line a little bit right there. See how
that big dump though, right at 2015. You still haven't had that yet.
This one right here. Still haven't had this dump.
No, right the there. One right at 2015, January 2015, where right we there. Get our bottom capitulation.
This one. That dump. This dump right here.
We just
December.
Yeah. That.
Yeah. This basically December. But look at this. This is very interesting. You break that there.
We haven't had that yet.
You're kind of breaking that. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of breaking the trend line a little bit, and then it just kind of rides along that trend line down, and then it just dies. It's very interesting.
And then how much of that was Mt. Gox? How much of that was just the whole market at the time? Is this time different? We tend to see that a lot on Twitter. Yes, there's a lot of variables that do make this time different, but we are also at a tremendously higher valuation than we were back then as well.
True, very true. All right, everybody, we will say thank you guys so much. It has been absolutely amazing. Another fun-filled day here for all of us. You went over, so I think we're good. I think we're good for everything. Listen, we will be keeping an eye for all of you. Just don't forget to join the Chonmeister over on Twitter. Give the man a like on his Twitter page. He got 27,600 followers. He's kicking my butt. Damn him. Van, pull up the 3050 on the weekly. 3050 MA. Paul? Oh, you didn't go over your gaps.
I just put out this chart. This couple again. There's just one. Again, the gaps in price of Bitcoin. Obviously, it's a 24/7 market. You don't really see gaps in price action. You do see gaps in terms of volume. Big green candles, big ring candles that skip over beats that happen so fast that eventually are filled. But in terms of actual gaps in the price history, only a very few instruments allow us to kind of chart those. One is our CME futures. Again, I have to go all the way down to our 30-minute to kind of find any relatively meaningful to me open gaps in the chart. We closed Friday night. We opened Sunday night. So we opened up with a slight gap up. I see two gaps in the chart. One is still down at 61.40. There's a little gap there on the 30-minute. And one is our open gap at 63.48. These basically are two gaps that are lower than I believe our current price action. Let me just go quickly back to, we're at 64.15 there. So we still have two lower gaps that, in my opinion, on the CME futures chart do need to be filled. Now, it does not necessarily mean we cannot go higher before we eventually come lower to fill these gaps. But so far, every gap has been filled, going down to at least the 30-minute in the most recent time frame. Big gap here, filled here, gap here, filled here. So, but all the gaps from the 4-hour down to the hourly are filled, and I do have to kind of clutch at straws here to get to this gap. But even on the 4-hour, you can clearly see that this is the current and only gap in the 4-hour. still showing we've got to get down to 63.48 at some point to fill at least this gap before a more meaningful move higher, in my opinion, can be achieved. Notice we are outside of our upper Bollinger as well on our 4-hour CME. This will take some time to kind of play through as tomorrow's price action does dictate that. And I still continue to watch our overall U.S. equities. We kind of open the week. This is election week. This is a voting week. We are hovering around 25.2 on our Dow Jones, our SPY still around 270, and our SPX at 227.23. Very precarious areas right here. We're kind of remember, extra money in overall U.S. equities can flow into crypto. We want U.S. equities to continue their bullishness. I feel that is overall bullish for crypto. If we enter some sort of a very strong, very significant bear market or at least correction pattern in our U.S. equities, I do not find that bullish in the least for Bitcoin, for crypto. I feel money will go into much more safer havens, and currently crypto is not one of those areas. Keep an eye out for any announcements next week in terms of SEC announcements. That could be a major driver of price action. A confirmed rejection and or the unicorn strikes, and we get some sort of an ETF announcement, then definitely see some very volatile price action. Talking about a couple of our pullbacks here, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, definitely pulling back from our highs we had yesterday. Keep an eye on that volume to see any fall through. Remember, looking for fall through because we are still ranging in this area. We have been ranging in for several weeks here. Remember to follow me on YouTube, up to 2,600 subscribers. Thank you for your support. And remember to follow me on Twitter at BigChillis.
Kicking my butt on that too, man. Seriously, I take a couple days off, try to go get famous, and this is what I get. Right, go to Vegas, get famous, come back, and I'm getting my butt handed. Yeah, so I'm long on his. If I could just pull a long in Vegas on your subscribers on YouTube, I'd be making a killing.
The race to 30,000 before the end of the year. That's my goal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, 30K is gonna be super easy, totally easy for you. So listen, everybody, we'd like to say thank you guys all so much. We really appreciate you guys coming in to hang out with us every single day. I will be dumping this video down. That's it, man. Really, thank you guys all. We really appreciate it. Let's trade safe out there, everybody. Please trade very safely right now. We still have not broken a bullish and or bearish. We have talked about this. So listen, take those profits when you get them. Take those profits, set those stop losses, and just be safe, okay? For the Chone and the Vamp and all of us at Until 1 Mil, we are out.